Shimo might have one of the saddest backstories ever. I mean, she was literally enslaved for thousands of years by Skar King. In today's video, we're reacting to a full backstory of Shimo's life, and let's go.
Godzilla Kong,
Alright, in Godzilla X Kong, the new empire, okay.
One of, if not the strongest Titan ever
okay,
seen
not the strongest Titan, one of the strongest, but not the strongest. I'm the strongest.
And capable of freezing vast landforms in minutes. How is it then that a scrawny ape with no powers was able to control this
scrawny ape is crazy, bro. We got Goji sent to roasting Skar King before GxK.
Solving this puzzle using evidence from the official novelization and the film itself.
But I genuinely want to know, how did Skar King actually manage to trap Shimo? Like, how is that even possible?
Tragic story. Don't forget to subscribe for more coverage on GxK and your favorite kaiju. What?
What?
Oh, right.
Subscribe.
Don't forget to check out our new custom pins available in the link.
What is this?
These aren't available. Skar King ordered the apes to drop a massive stone, cutting the flow of lava in this massive.
He literally had bro behind lava. Okay, Skar King, what are you doing, man? You're doing too much, in my opinion.
Start to understand the relationship between Shimo and Skar King, and it wasn't a good one. Here's a good time to explain how the red ape controls this world ender.
With the thingy, right? Yeah, with this like crystal. I don't know what that is. Imagine if Godzilla had like a crystal tip that if you had it, you could control him with. Bro, that would be crazy.
Previous to this, Skar King just had a fight with Kong, almost winning, but Kong was able to best him, figure him out, and almost kill him.
Okay, I don't think almost kill him, to be honest.
That Kong was about to kill the Skar King, and everyone around kinda knew this. Even Suko noticed that pretty well. After seeing that Kong turned out to be stronger, he summoned Shimo and commands her to kill Kong. In the film, we see that Shimo lets out a loud, angry roar, suggesting that she didn't really like her living conditions, much less being controlled by a lesser Titan.
Lesser Titan, bro. Goji's son is shooting shots back and forth, man.
Inflicting another type of pain on herself, distracting herself from the even worse suffering Skar King was inflicting. Reluctantly following the orders of the Skar King as if she didn't really want to do what she was told, but had to. To better understand why Shimo was being controlled, we first have to study her anatomy a little bit more. Using some of the information gathered from the novel, one thing we learned from this book is that this crystal is suggested to be a part of Shimo herself. More specifically,
so he just chopped up some crystal from her?
Part of her many dorsal spines. Dr. Hampton, while witnessing the fight in Rio, also made note of this crystal showing the same characteristics of those of Shimo. So, we settled that this crystal most likely belonged to this Titan.
But where though? Like her tooth, or what about it, man? And how did Skar King just like take it? You know what I mean?
This crystal for ransom, threatening to further damage this crystal if Shimo didn't obey, but this likely wasn't the case. We see
they literally destroyed it.
This has an internal effect on Shimo's mind, and it was very painful. So, this thing had to have been something special. Not just any crystal.
What is this crystal,
with
man?
An ability that turns out to be a common force in GxK. Telepathy.
What?
That's right. The book doesn't explicitly state that this crystal had telepathic abilities, but it does say that Skar King controls Shimo using pain. Additionally, we see that Titans such as Mothra and Godzilla were able to communicate in this manner.
Yo, I wonder what Godzilla and Kong has said in like the thingy.
Communicate with each other. Gia in particular could communicate with Mothra via telepathy, an even deeper method of communication than the one she shared with Kong. Additionally, in GvK, we learned that Ghidorah's heads would communicate with each other using this same method.
I miss Kevin so much, man. Bring back Kevin! Bring back Kevin, bro. We need
communicate using rudimentary sounds and signals. So now, back to the crystal. On one end, we have Skar King, who belongs to a species that communicates with verbal cues and pantomiming, trying to tell a titanic saurian what to do. The solution, making physical contact with this crystal, ensured that whatever thoughts and intentions Skar King had were effectively communicated to Shimo, the original owner of this shard. This shard would then let out a signal that only Shimo would understand. But remember,
Bro, we got some Bluetooth Wi-Fi over here.
Just commands.
He's like airdropping her information. He's like, all right, listen, you better do this.
Mentioned in the novelization that Skar King had a particular philosophy when it came to ruling over his subordinates. He had become fond of inflicting pain and suffering.
Oh my, okay, don't show that to me, please, Goji Center. I don't want to see monkey heads, man.
Happened to be the same exact methodology to get Shimo to do what he wanted. With every command that was conjured in his mind came along with the do it or you'll suffer more effect. Interestingly, there is still more to this crystal that may help us understand its ability. In the novelization, it's suggested that Shimo, at some point during her existence, was actually an Alpha Titan.
Oh!
And this does
make
a lot of sense.
I had no idea Shimo was an iPhone Titan. iPhone Titan, Alpha Titan. iPhone Titan.
Attributes of a monster that can easily become and remain an Alpha.
Who do you guys think like took the Alpha Titan off of Shimo?
Served as a way to amplify her alpha signals to other Titans as well. After all, we already have confirmation that similar shard formations are able to send out signals, similar to the Iwi crystal that sent out the call for help that both Gia and Godzilla detected. So yes, this crystal possessed by Skar King was something out of the ordinary, and a really strange way to control a kaiju. It was clearly out of character for Shimo to attack someone like Godzilla, Kong, or any other benevolent Titan. Many times throughout the film, we witnessed her roar in anger after Skar King commanded her to do something.
Man, she didn't want to do it, bro. There's this monkey, bro, over here trying to control everything, man.
But this brings
bro, leave a like if you guys hate Skar King.
How on earth did the Great Apes and Skar King manage to capture Shimo? Capturing the strongest Titan while having no special powers of your own is indeed an impressive feat. It took genius and a bit of balls to accomplish this, and surely many apes died in the process. But it was attaining the crystal that mattered the most, and then figuring out how to use it and determining that this was Shimo's greatest weakness. For a bit of backstory, let's go back to how these apes were trapped down here in the first place. Going back a long time ago during the Great Titan War, where
bro, I want to watch a movie where like a Great Titan War, imagine, man.
Including the Titans controlled by him. Yeah, this was actually a big deal, but Godzilla found a way to solve this issue. It's mentioned that Godzilla trapped the Great Apes in a subterranean realm, which was basically a giant cave. Here, the power-hungry Skar King and his army of great apes remained isolated until many years later when Kong inadvertently opened up an exit point. It is here where we can piece together a theory.
Man, this monkey, man, why is Kong opening up stuff?
Were able to capture Shimo. It is likely that Godzilla didn't just trap the apes to keep them isolated from the rest of the world. A Titan like Godzilla would try to kill them. All of them. So, the act of trapping them in a cave was not enough. It was likely that Godzilla knew that Shimo was already in the subterranean realm, trapping the apes inside with Shimo, knowing that a Titan like Shimo would be able to easily kill all the apes, since they really don't do well in the cold anyways. What he was not expecting was the fact
Godzilla's like, hey yo, hold on, what's Skar King out here doing 4K plan cheating?
Upon realizing that they were trapped with the strongest and powerful Titan, there was no other choice but to fight for their lives. We'd like to think that at some point the Great Apes and Shimo had a confrontation, one which inflicted many casualties on the Great Ape army. Skar King would have either found a way to sever one of the crystals from Shimo, or just found one lying on the ground, and eventually figured out that Shimo would behave funny around him holding the crystal. Here is where an intelligent and astute monster like Skar King would leverage something like this, and ultimately realizing that as long as he held possession of this crystal, Shimo would do his bidding, and at the same time inflict pain if she refused. So, in a way, Godzilla's plan.
But why didn't he use Shimo to escape? You know what I mean? Why didn't they use Shimo to run away?
On the contrary,
Godzilla basically gave Skar King like everything, man.
Shimo would live perhaps tens of thousands of years in captivity, perhaps
Nah,
more,
I feel bad,
killing
bro.
innocent Titans or
Imagine
facing the
how
alternative,
many Titans Shimo has
excruciating
killed and how
pain.
many
It was
thousands of
only
years
after
she's
Suko
lived.
shattered this crystal in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where Shimo was finally liberated from Skar King's command.
Shimo's like, hey,
Quickly
yo,
obeying
I'm
Godzilla to
free?
finish him off using
And then
a
she started
frostbite
obeying
breath.
Godzilla.
And
She
quite
stopped
frankly,
obeying Skar King to obey
had it
Godzilla.
coming.
Nah, bro.
The only good news now is that Shimo now resides with Kong and the Great Apes.
Hey,
In their
man.
first confrontation, she never really wanted to kill him. It was Skar King who made her try to kill Kong and countless other apes as well.
Oh,
The
man.
hardships for Shimo have only just begun. Despite living with the
What?
benevolent
What do you
Kong,
mean? It's
the
done.
knowledge of Shimo had just now been revealed to both Monarch and, even worse, the government.
So now
That's
they're gonna
right.
start
Upon learning
testing?
that this monster was
Nah, I don't
actually a
think so, bro.
world
What are they
ender
gonna do,
capable
man?
of making it snow in Rio out of all places, this certainly turned heads around the world, and for the first time warranted military intervention and a total takeover of the Hollow Earth by the
Oh.
military. All
Nah.
sights have been set on Shimo now, and humanity now has a new target.
But I don't think Shimo's
Unfortunately
actually
for
going to get
Shimo,
harmed
it
because,
seems
bro,
that
what are
despite being
humans
one of the
going
most
to do?
powerful Titans, she has always been a target, and perhaps her biggest challenge is yet to begin.
Oh, man. Do you guys think Shimo's going to be in the new Godzilla x Kong 2 movie? If so, let me know in the comments. But that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys like it. If you did, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what video I should react next, guys. Peace.